The Colonial Parkway murders, a series of chilling double homicides between 1986 and 1989, left Virginia residents in fear and law enforcement grappling for answers. These murders involved young couples found dead along the scenic Colonial Parkway, a route connecting Williamsburg, Jamestown, and Yorktown. The victims were typically in their late teens or early 20s, and the crimes were marked by brutal killings and eerie similarities. The first known victims were Kathleen Marion Kathy Thomas, 27, a U.S. Naval Academy graduate, and her girlfriend Rebecca Ann Becky Dowski, 21, a College of William and Mary student. On October 9, 1986, they were last seen leaving a computer lab on campus. Their bodies were discovered 3 days later in a white 1980 Honda Civic at the Cheatham Annex Overlook near Williamsburg. Both women had been strangled and had their throats slashed so deeply they were nearly decapitated. The vehicle was covered in diesel fuel but had not been set ablaze. Over 100 fingerprints were found inside and outside the car, but none matched anyone in police records. The second double homicide occurred on September 23, 1987, when 20-year-old David Knobling and 14-year-old Robin Edwards were found shot to death near the Ragged Island Wildlife Management Area in Isle of Wight County. Their bodies were discovered by a fisherman, and both had been shot multiple times. There were no signs of sexual assault, and their belongings were missing, suggesting robbery as a possible motive. On April 9, 1988, Cassandra Haley, 18, and Richard Call, 20, were found murdered near the Colonial Parkway in York County. Their bodies were discovered in a remote area, and both had been shot multiple times. There were no signs of sexual assault, and their belongings were missing, indicating robbery as a possible motive. Witnesses reported seeing a suspicious vehicle in the area around the time of the murders, but no suspects were identified. The final known victims were Anna Maria Phelps, 18, and Daniel Lauer, 21, who were found murdered on September 5, 1989, near the Colonial Parkway in New Kent County. Their bodies were discovered in a wooded area, and both had been shot multiple times. There were no signs of sexual assault, and their belongings were missing, suggesting robbery as a possible motive. Investigators found a locket near the crime scene, but it did not lead to any significant breakthroughs. For decades, the Colonial Parkway murders remained unsolved, with law enforcement agencies struggling to find leads. In 2024, advancements in DNA technology led to a breakthrough. Virginia State Police identified Alan Wade Wilmer Sr., a deceased fisherman, as a suspect in the murders. Wilmer had died in 2017, but DNA evidence obtained posthumously linked him to the 1987 murders of David Knobling and Robin Edwards, as well as the 1989 murder of Teresa Lynn Spa Howell in Hampton, Virginia. Wilmer had no prior felony convictions, and his DNA was not in any law enforcement databases until after his death. He was known to have lived in Lancaster County, Virginia, and worked as a fisherman and small business owner. Investigators believe Wilmer may have been responsible for other unsolved murders in the area, but no charges have been filed, and the case remains under investigation. The Colonial Parkway murders continue to haunt the community, and the families of the victims are still seeking justice and closure. The case remains one of Virginia's most perplexing unsolved mysteries,